Welcome to Smith's Interconnect 360 Connectivity Podcast. Join our experts as they explore high-end and cutting-edge topics that shape and influence the connectivity world. Enjoy this week's episode.
Welcome to Smith's Interconnect 360 Connectivity Podcast, the podcast that explores the connectivity trends and applications in today's manufacturing sector. I'm Robert Friedt, an electrical engineer for the Connectors product line.
And I'm Daniel Ratzlaff, business manager for the medical market, and we'll be your host for today. Today, we're going to give a brief review of the trends impacting the traditional coax solutions in the medical market, and we're going to be kind of looking at this from an MRI space. Today, we're going to give a brief overview of the trends impacting traditional coax solutions in the medical market, and we're going to be kind of looking at this from an MRI imaging space. Overall, these applications will apply to other imaging systems as well.
All right, Dan, let's start. What can you tell us about the growth of portable MRIs?
Portable MRIs represent one of the fastest growing submarkets in the MRI market, with an annual growth rate of 7% versus 4% for the general market. They provide significant lower cost solution that is easier to use, and they also have a significant number of advantages for the patient, including that the patient does not need to be moved from room to room, and they can remain attached to most of the equipment. They do not have an expensive install, and they do not have extensive power requirements. They are easier to maintain, and they do not require specialized staff. AI, or artificial intelligence, has also been introduced, and this has resulted in reduced exam times, better workflows, and improved diagnostics. So more patients, more cycles, less time. There's also an increase in MRI patient safe implants, especially pacemakers being used in the field, meaning there will be an increase in MRI eligible populations, as these devices traditionally would have disqualified a patient from receiving an MRI.
So how does this impact the connector used on these systems?
The biggest impact there is that much less space for traditional interconnect solutions, both internal and external connections, due to the size. This means smaller connectors that can use the space available, even if it's in a non-traditional shape or size. They also provide improved imaging quality versus older systems due to the increased field strength. Now, this is true for new high field strength MRIs as well, but where you get a better and better images and improved comfort, so a win-win. And lastly, they tend to have faster turnover times versus traditional MRIs due to the ease of use and the fact that patients tend to hold still better, preventing delays in the procedure. There's also an increased electromagnetic noise due to the higher field strength. The FDA has cleared MRI fields up to 7 Tesla, and research devices are sitting out there with field strengths of 10 Tesla. This will continue to expand and grow as the new MRI coils are developed to support these systems and are introduced onto the hospitals. And with the increased use of AI driving down turnover times, we can expect to see more patients per day. This increases the need for high durable, high cycle life connectors.
Thanks, Dan. So let me try and summarize this to see if I understand the new requirements for this product. It sounds like we need higher density, in that we need smaller and more highly dense connectors due to the increased demand for more data and through a smaller connector space. Secondly, we need more durability, because due to the high use rate and long field life of these products, we need connectors that can survive high cycle counts. Thirdly, we need robustness and integrity. Rugged designs are needed to survive the constant use and being maintained over a very long lifespan, especially considering the critical nature of the device. And lastly, we need customization. Connectors need to be able to provide the right performance, size, and cost for the complexity required without providing unwanted features.
Great summary, Rob. Now that we've covered some of the market trends that impact the connectors as a whole, let's look at the grid array solutions. What are they, how do they work, and why should they be used?
So I've been working with Smith's Interconnect as an electrical engineer for the last decade with a specialization in signal integrity design and analysis. Hopefully, I can give you some insight into the grid array technology. What is a grid array in terms of an interconnect device? Simply put, it is an array of electrical contacts designed inside an insulative material in such a way as to effectively propagate energy for either power, digital, or analog signals. This would be assembled within an interposer or connector cable system of some sort. Regarding digital and analog signals, contacts would be arranged on a grid to resemble a traditional coax assembly to yield the benefits of coaxial configurations. Each grid array coax channel has a single signal contact with multiple surrounding ground return contacts. This resembles a traditional coax in that it has a single signal contact but is surrounded by a circular or axial shield. Viewing the cross sections on a traditional coax, a signal current propagates through the signal pin, and this simultaneously returns to the source through the coax shield. This is typically called the return path. Similarly, the ideal grid array coax has a signal that propagates through the signal pin and simultaneously returns to the source through the return pins. If designed properly, with the characteristic impedance as close to the system impedance as possible, which is typically 50 ohms, then either solution can yield favorable analog and digital performance and appropriate shielding from adjacent channel signals.
So what are some of the benefits of choosing a grid array solution over a traditional coax solution?
That's a good question. The grid array can offer up to 50% reduction in size and up to 30% cost reduction from traditional coaxial solutions, depending on performance requirements. Using different contact technologies, we can achieve high cycle life and extreme operating temperatures with stable DC, digital, and analog performance. In short, grid array solutions can be used as a favorable alternative to traditional coax solutions and can be customizable and robust enough to handle the demands of tailored performance at reduced costs. Every medical product must provide a set of high performance and ensure the safety of the patient and staff. With outstanding contact resistance and more than 100,000 mating cycles, and with multiple contact technologies like spring probes or pins and sockets, we currently ensure the reliable transmission of power, high current, high voltage, RF signals, and coax, and data for all medical applications. The introduction of the grid array technology for medical connectivity provides a layout using various contact technologies to deliver performance with the same signal integrity offered by coax solutions, but with a vastly improved density and price. So, Daniel, let me ask you another question. What are the benefits of using this application within the medical market?
Good question, Robert, and I'll give you a couple examples. For the grid array offers a reduced footprint. With this reduced footprint, we get increased density compared to traditional applications. Depending on performance and requirements, we can cut the size down by about 50%. We also offer an improved cost of ownership. We offer lower cost contact systems that have high cycle lives, like you said, over 100,000 cycles that have been reduced, that have a reduced chance of being damaged during handling and cleaning or any other processes. We also offer an increase in patient comfort. We're offering smaller and lighter connectors, for example, that allow MRI beds to be lower to the ground, so it's easier to position the patient, and cables that are lighter on the patient. We have better technical and value alignment to our customers' needs, thanks to the ability to tune the performance to the specific needs. You can kind of get exactly what you want without anything else. And then lastly, the solution is completely customizable in shape and size, which means we can make use of any given space, improving the ergonomics and aesthetics of the final device.
So how does grid array compare to the standard solutions that utilize coax?
Well, one thing is we offer fully customizable solutions for the grid array that will always win over your off-the-shelf when it comes to flexibility and customization. The other solutions often require you to pick modules that may or may not have specifically what you want, or may have a lot more than what you want. Customizable shape and size again. Against the traditional solutions, you have a standard shape and no ability to change it. The grid array offers distinct advantage over custom coax solutions due to the increased density and the flexible nature of the contact system, allowing you, again, the advantage of getting the shape you want and using the space you have. We also offer an improved cycle life with grid array. You can either use the hyperboloid solution from Smith's Interconnect or a spring probe solution, both of which offer over 100,000 cycles or more. Traditional coax and off-the-shelf solutions just really can't live up to that in the cycle life requirement. And tunable for performance, or the ability for the customer to tune performance. With off-the-shelf, you kind of get what you get with the modules. In traditional coax, you get what you can get with the contact systems available. Grid array allows the performance to be tuned to a much higher degree and gives you the ability to change the shape, size, and patterns. We can mix contacts within the system, again, allowing for that perfect performance for the customer. We can also offer ingress protection. This isn't something that's terribly common in connectors like these for off-the-shelf solutions, but in grid array, you can design this to provide a great level of ingress protection because you have the choice of the contact solution. So this very much improves the ingress protection. An example would be using targets on one side with spring probes on the other side, so the side with the targets can be completely sealed from ingress. And then lastly, flexible terminations. Both grid array and customized solutions offer a variety of termination solutions. Off the shelf, we may have some selections, but it's going to be limited.
So how could Smith's Interconnect help with this?
We have two great connector series that serve as an initial platform for customization. The first up is our Hypergrip series. The Hypergrip series is designed to support medical applications from the start. It offers a simple push-pull mating and unmating and comes in 6 keying options. Our keying system is based on a 6-keyway rotational insulator. So customized solutions will effectively have 6 keys to start. Along with the keys, it does come with 5 different colors, preventing mismating or quick identification. And it is also IP65 sealed when mated. The connector is sterilizable, supporting autoclave, ETO, and STERAD. The next we have is our D series. And again, this one comes with standard coaxial solutions as well, and the ability to be customized with an easy push button latch that is very user-friendly with the D shapes that is, again, very friendly for preventing mismating. This connector comes in 3 sizes, has a variety of contact counts for traditional medical applications, and this one also comes autoclave compatible as well.
Lastly, Smith's Interconnect offers different contact technologies. What can you tell us about that?
Smith's Interconnect has a variety of different contact technologies available to support these applications. We can support with high-density spring probes to support very high-density contact systems with high mating cycles, well over 100,000. We also have the advanced hyperspring contact, which is a unique combination of a traditional spring probe and a hyperboloid socket. So you get the cleaning action during the mating, ensuring stable and reliable connection across the higher or harsh environments, but also you get the very high cycle life of a spring probe and hyperboloid. And last but not least, we have our non-magnetic hyperboloids meant for the MRI imaging applications. Like our traditional hyperboloid contact, these use high reliability, high cycle life contact systems that offer very low insertion and extraction force with a very consistent electrical performance. This variety is also free of any materials that could distort the magnetic flux. And it can support a very wide range of amperages, so it should be very well suited to any MRI application.
That's great. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Rob.
That's all for this week's episode of Smith's Interconnect 360 Connectivity Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to reach out to us through the form in our podcast webpage. Stay tuned for the next episodes in which we'll explore more topics related to connectivity solutions. Thank you for listening and have a great day.